everybody. So we are here in Florida. As you can see, this is not the home I usually sit at. This is a resort. This is actually the bedroom, and this is a little bit of living space, and there's the balcony. So Alice and we came here today around noon, 1 o'clock or something, and now it's probably 8:39. So I was outside at the balcony for a little bit when Alice was playing on her iPad, and after making this video, she and I are gonna go for a walk on the beach. It's kind of dark, but I think it's still allowed because they have a private beach. All of these resorts have a private beaches. So she actually thought that we probably wouldn't go. She was like, "Oh, I really want to go walk on the beach." I'm like, "Yeah, if you really want to go, we are gonna go." So I told her, let me make this quick video and then we will. And she's just playing on the balcony on the iPad for a little bit. This video is very, very important. You know, some of this, and this is why I started the coffee lounge, because this is like the real authentic part of the discussions that I used to have with you guys last year. And this year, as the channel has a lot of structure around helping people, I also wanted to have this real deep conversations. And if some of this resonates with you guys, please do join in this conversation, because this is literally like when I say coffee lounge, you know, what the things that you talk to your friends with, right? And that's how I'm trying my best to build this community, that it is not for everybody. Everybody is not going to resonate with this coffee lounge chat. It is for people who have walked the fire of divorce, walked the fire of job loss, or maybe, you know, both at the same time. And these days, I know that losing a job is probably not as, it is sad for everybody whenever that happens. However, you know, someday I would share my journey of job losses multiple times. Once, of course, at the beginning of pandemic and at the end of pandemic, and most challenging one was when I lost my job and marriage at the same time. As you guys know, in a few months it'll be 2 years. Anyway, so today is not about all of that. Today's discussion is more deep. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about is that, you know, even after healing, which in my case, I know that I had a lot of deep healing, but even after that, sometimes some memories can come back. And it is not that you want to go back to that situation or how things were, but sometimes deeper emotion may surface and you process it even further. So I'm going to tell you guys what I'm talking about. So last couple of days when I was packing stuff, you know, so Alice and you guys know that if you're coming to the channel, often that every 3-4 months we take a trip. But last year when I first started it in March, we went close by places, like only 2-3 hours distance, driving distance, you know, little resorts and stuff like that. And now some may say that, oh, why do you travel so much? And if you know my quadrant method, I talk about rich quadrant. It's not about the money rich, it's like the emotion, right? So R is relationship, I is ideal life, which is about deepest desires and dreams, career and health. So deepest desires and dream is travel for me. So I think my 9-year-old daughter says it the best. She's like, mommy is obsessed with travel. Yes, I am. So for last many years I didn't, you know, it's either the priority of work, priority of family, or whatever that may be. And some of that probably had also caused some challenges in the relationship, but when we are in autopilot, we don't know. Ultimately, what I did is, you know, my decision. If I wanted to go somewhere. I didn't go. I didn't prioritize that. It is my decision. I don't blame anybody for this, because our life is, not to blame, judge, or criticize anyone else. It's like the life that we have lived until now. How can we, I don't know, course correct is not the right word, but how can we live better? How can we live more joyfully? So I think about those a lot. So the simple things I notice, it's crazy. So when I was on the plane, I know that some of the thing I'm getting off topic, but like when I was in the plane, I went to the bathroom and I noticed that how tiny the sink is, and it's tiny and cute. I'm like, it's a simple weird things that I notice, it's the tiny cute sink. Next time we go to, when we fly in an airplane, go to the bathroom, just look at this tiny sink. It's so cute. Oh my God. So anyway, because I feel even more deeply in a good way, So last couple of days when I was packing, of course there are a lot of fun moments too. As you guys know, I made a short, some of you have seen and commented that, so I love to travel. But when it comes to packing, trust me, I hate packing. I hate packing. So anyway, I made this list, and I usually use that list, so that's good enough. But I pack heavy, traveling light, I'm not. If I need, like, I don't know, 5 outfits, I'll probably pack 15 outfits, not even 10, because some of them I don't even use, but that's just my style, whatever. Anyway. Normally, I think generally, like, ladies do pack more than guys, but yeah, I know I can get better, but it's just sometimes I just can't. I'm very good at decision making, but when it comes to packing my stuff for travel, I just want to take more. Anyway, so I was, playing music, and when it comes to music, I think I have, and a lot of people probably have that, I have these different phases, and recently I've been listening to some Christian music, the Christian worship music or Christian rock. I like them otherwise too, but these days I was just listening to that more, and I think it was just connecting where the mindset is, and you just connect with different things, right? So a couple years ago when we had some big challenges, there were a lot of planes that were getting canceled and stuff like that, and we had very big challenges then, and the plane got canceled last minute. We were at the airport, first airport, waited for 10 hours. It was a very challenging experience because our daughter was 7 years old, and then next day we had cruise, and because the cruise couldn't be canceled, and my daughter was really looking forward to it because it's a Disney cruise, and we went through 4 different airports and slept on the airport floor at night with the 7-year-old, and then we made it to the cruise, but it was not very good experience overall because we were so tired and exhausted. So that left a scar in everybody's mind. So this time when I was traveling, some of those, even after so long, some of those memories came back. And it's not that we want to go back to that, but it's just that the deeper emotion, right? And I talked to Alice also about it, that it is okay. Sometimes we would let go that, and then we would, and things may come up and we would process it. It doesn't mean that we want to go back to that situation, but it means that we can talk about our emotion, and things can happen. And it's just to think that we are human. We are human. And, you know, so, I will share more with you guys about my faith journey. It's been a very, I don't know, interesting is one word, but I grew up Hindu, then followed a little bit of Buddhism, and then I became Christian. You guys know if you're coming to the channel often. In some sense, people will say that I'm not a traditional Christian because I actually got rejected for baptism because I did not, I don't know, I didn't fit the traditional mold, I guess. I don't know. I'll figure that out someday. But I listen to God's word every day, and God showed me so many miracles in my life. Like I said, someday I'm going to share it with you guys, to the point that since I never grew up with anything related to Christianity, I didn't even know anything about it in India growing up. I came here in my 20s. So, you know, I assimilated pretty good in this culture and community, but for different reasons, I didn't get any exposure to Christianity much. And whatever I got to know from people I knew, I haven't heard much, so that would draw me. I mean, there are some really good I saw, but not to the point that would draw me. But when things fell apart, there were so many, you call it coincidence, you call it synchronicity, or whatever you want to call it as, there were to the point that, you know, it's like I look here, I'm like, no, you know, I would come up with, in my mind, if I come up with logic, I'd have another, I'd have another, I'd have another. And there were so many of them that to the point that I could not deny, right? And so I got onto this path. And I'm not surprised that from traditional aspect, they don't see that, because my life is not traditional. My life is not traditional for an Indian person. My life is not traditional for an American person. I am just in my own island, you know. And so I say it in a good way now, actually. I didn't say it in a good way probably a couple of years ago. I felt like more lonely, isolated. But now I say it in a way that this is an island that I am building with the right people, you know. Recently, and it's interesting that how it happens, recently I noticed that there are several people I got connected to who are living authentically, fully, authentically, joyfully, like the things they're doing, little things. It's and they are so happy about doing it from inside out. And you know, when you're in that zone, you know other people when they're living that life or they're on autopilot. It is so easy to identify. So easy to identify. But there's this phase that happens that when you have to let go and stay in that empty space for a little bit. Maybe you're lonely and you have only God walking with you. And then that, you know, the other right people, because the space is there, then God can send you those right people in your way. Because until you don't leave the shore, you hold on to this. You can't, you know, God can't put the right people because there's no space. There's no brain space. There's no mind space, whatever you call it. There's no physical space, you know. So many years ago, before our daughter was born, we went to a big resort, I remember, And it was funny that I had this weird emotion about, so it was in Cancun, it was a long time ago, and at the time I never went to cruise, and there's this cruise ship that you'd see from the shore far, far away. You know, they come a little close and then they don't really come to the shore, and then they go away. And I don't even know those cruise ships, those people or anything, but when they would go away, I would have that little sad emotion, and I never knew why that was a weird emotion I'd have. And now after everything happened, I was like, you know, this thought would always cross my mind to say these words that you have to let go of this shore. Let me see if there's anything I can find. It's because it's a metaphorical thing, but it is so real. I don't know, it's so real. So it's a weird metaphorical thing. It's just the remote. It's the water, right? So imagine this is the shore you are in, right? This is the shore, and that's the island. This is one island. That's another island. So until you let this go, until you live that, you cannot get to that because they are not connected. You have to swim across the ocean, go with whichever way. It is literally that, you know. And you know, I try to help you guys with this concept, and also I try to help myself, because when we use these metaphors, it kind of really sticks with us. You know, there's this thing that if you hear, you retain only 10%, and then I guess if you write it down 40%, and then you teach somebody else 90%. There's some Harvard study or something about that, so you could look it up. And this video is really, really deeply important to me, because this message is so important for deeper healing, even for you guys, because if you are going through this journey, I know this is so deep, because sometimes you know, you heal, and then there is some of this emotion that come up, and then so now anyway, what I was saying is this. So when Alice was playing with the iPad, she was in this couch and I was outside, and I was just processing those emotions. You know, I was listening to some of God's word, and I was listening to those music again, the Christian music. And for me, I have a phase. It's not like I always listen to Christian music. Sometimes I would listen to, I don't know, like Taylor Swift, sometimes Christian music, and sometimes, I don't know, like different things, Celine Dion and others, Enrique. Anyway, so right now this message is resonating, because this is really a new chapter. Because when I was listening to God's word and many things, I felt a little sad for my daughter too, because she and I had traveled to close by location, but flying, this is our first time, just she and I. And I asked once if she was sad because that her dad was not there with her. And she said no, she was not. I want her to also process these emotions. And so I told her that, you know, I was crying here and there a little bit as I was packing, and it is okay. It's not that, you know, I want the things to go back the same way, but I was sad and I was crying here and there, and it is okay to talk about that. And if you have your kids, you know, it is so important, because for us, at least the older people, we have lived our life as a single person, and then we get, you know, divorced, and then you're single again. So it's a life, even though it's not same, at least some life, some flavor of it we lived. But for them, it is totally new. There is so many unknown. And I'll be honest, some of it I still process, because I myself, like, when today I saw a cruise ship coming close and going, oh no way, I didn't cry. It's just reminded me of that old situation. But the emotion that I still process is about my daughter. And some of it is probably just being mom. I worry that what's going on in our mind. People say that kids are resilient, they're more resilient than us. But yeah, so I shared it with her, and I shared it with you all too. If you have kids, I'm not a perfect mom, no way at all. Sometime here and there, Alice would say that I yell. I try my best. Sometimes when I get fearful of her getting hurt, it's hard. But it is so important even for kids to talk about this emotion, right? So it's a new chapter. It's a new chapter for me to write, and for her dad also to write a new chapter. I told him to, because life is short. Life is short. We gotta live a good life, and if we have to, not have to, but we want to, right? We want to give a good life to our kids. We have one kid, and in your case, if you have one kid or more kids, we gotta have our cup full, right? Without our cup being full, we won't be able to give them a good life. And that is why I also do these trips and stuff, because that's how I fill my cup. I love my time with Alice, and at the same time, as an older person, I need some adult time too. So I go out with my friends, to eat out at a restaurant, coffee shop. Sometimes I just go fill my own bucket at a coffee shop, read books, and all of that. And these travels, and I was telling Alice today that I'm so grateful that I get to travel with her, because she's just like me. She thinks I'm obsessed with travel. She is too. So I'm glad she turned out like me that way. Anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to capture this. I was just processing the emotion. I don't think the rest of the time will be as much, but just coming here, flying the plane, it was just a 3-hour flight, whereas this 3-hour was over 30 hours. A couple of years ago, that was very challenging. At the time, it was 3 of us, and now it was 2 of us, Alice and I. So there was some deep emotion there. So there was, I think it got processed. So sometimes life is like that. Not every single thing will be processed and healed all at once. And sometimes some deeper memories can come up. And again, the point is not about going back, because you have tried everything, you have known everything, and you know that if you go back there, it's not going to, if you have not seen, you should look up my blog post. There's a step 1, step 2, step 3, and 4. Step 2 and 3 is people go in cycle. There is no point to go in that cycle. So, especially if you have been to step 4, which I believe I do, you don't want to go back there, because sometime when you let go, you have to let it go with peace. And that is when life becomes beautiful, my friends. Life becomes beautiful. And because we are human, because we are not God, we are human, there will be times a little something would come to your mind. And like I have shared with you guys, either going to a grocery store or something. I think the other day I was talking about, we were a mixed couple, so in a grocery store, in the beginning when I saw mixed couple, I would cry because it would remind me of our situation. And then a couple months ago when that happened, I was like, okay, it was just another thing, it didn't, right? But like flying to a place, and after a couple of years when I'm flying again, that is an incident that I haven't felt before. So there will be emotions like that or experiences like that, which is not a day-to-day experience, right? We don't fly every day or every month or something like that. And not only about flying, there's like more, there's some private things also attached to it, which I can't share here because it's all very public. But the point is, there are some deeper interconnected, interwoven, I don't know what's the word, there's some very deep tangled emotion. That's actually a Buddhism thing, and that's why probably in Christianity they didn't think that I am a fit, because I have this, I know, I would just simply call it open-mindedness, right? So especially when you're going through divorce, and if somebody forces you that, okay, I don't know, it's almost like, okay, this is a remote, this remote works only for TV. And I'm like, maybe if we try, we can make it work for, I don't know, Netflix too. I know it's a weird example, but right now that's what I have as a metaphor. But the point is, I try to, if somebody says that, no, I can make this remote work for refrigerator, I'm like, oh, okay, let's see how. So I have more of that kind of a mind versus just going with just one thing. No, it's TV, it's TV. So I want to have that open mind, and I think in my life, in 40-some years, living here in this country, 20 years all by myself, when I say all by myself, because my family is all in India, a lot of decisions I made myself, and then being in corporate world, I was a senior director, but to go to that level in an executive position, I got suppressed many times, I got sidelined many times, I had to, I don't know, bite my tongue many times to get to that level. So I'm like, I don't want to live like that anymore. I want to live a fully, deeply authentic life. And for that, if anybody, if they don't see eye to eye with me, it is okay. It is totally okay. I can let that go with peace. And that's what I do. And that's what I would tell you to do too. Okay, so I was thinking to make this video for 10 minutes. It's 27 minutes, I see, but this was necessary. I just wanted to share with you guys. If you ever feel sharing these deep details, please do feel free to share it in the comments, because you never know, your comment might help somebody else. Because when I share these videos last year, also folks have said it is helping them, because sometimes Dale Carnegie has a saying in his book that's double the joy, half the sorrow. That's what it does. When we share with somebody, when the fun things, double up, and then when you have sadness, we share the sadness, because, it's not me alone, it's not you alone. There's a lot of people going through this, and that's why I created this movement. And I hope these are divorce-related stuff. It stays tucked in, if people don't talk about it, it's discussed only behind closed doors, and that is why the cycle continues. And the blog that if you read, it talks about first divorce, 30 to 40% divorce rate, first marriage, 30 to 40%, second marriage, 60 to 70%, third marriage, 75%. So people just go in as a rebound for the second marriage, the third marriage, and then they keep getting more divorced, so which is not good either, because that takes away from the thought that you can live a joyful life. Instead, people just go for quick fixes, happiness, and then they get into the pattern, and then they divorce again. So that is why my hope is that I can people talk about living a dent in the world. So that is my hope, to live a little dent on that pain and sorrow, and that dent could be of happiness. That's my hope. Okay, with my friends, a lot of reflection in this coffee lounge chat. I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow again, because here and there I'm making some videos, and it's fun to make these videos. Alice actually wanted to post today. I'm like, no, let's just have our own time. So we'll post later, either after we go back or later when we are here, because we'll be here 6-7 days. It's only first day, and we are having our own time, because since I didn't drive, so I don't really feel that tired. But normally 3-4 hours drive after a trip, first day I'm a little tired, I want to go to bed a little early. But today, since we flew, and it's all good. So have fun, my friends. Life is short, you have only one life, so enjoy whatever that joyful means to you, right? If you're planning to take a trip or whatever, do that. Don't delay. Bye.